we're going to take a break from the show to feature a new segment that discusses an often overlooked aspect of the business. I'm speaking about creating a family-friendly environment inside the restaurant industry. With help from our friends at Family Forward NC, which is a program of the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation, a nonprofit that works to support children and their families across the state, we're going to discuss ideas, resources, and testimonials from those that work within the company, as well as actual restaurant owners that have implemented family-friendly practices while working with Family Forward NC.
So the owners of East Cut Sandwich Bar in Durham, we have Steve Winch and Brad Bankos. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So I want to hear a little bit about Family Forward NC and why is it important for you guys to incorporate family-friendly practices into your business?
Yeah, I think for family-friendly workplace practices, there's really two reasons to do it. First is the human reason to do it. One of our core values at East Cut is respect. It's the first one we always talk about. And we always say the golden rule reigns supreme at East Cut. And I would say these family-friendly work practices fall squarely in line with that type of mantra. So it feels right in line with just how we operate under our core values. And then there's the second reason, and really, there's an economic reason for this as well. We've seen clear results in improving our processes at the restaurant and improving our benefits and continuing to try to do that. We would say it's hard to actually see the results in numbers, but one that's great is turnover data, which has really gone in the right direction for us. We've been able to attract stronger, more motivated and stable talent. We feel like morale at East Cut has improved over the course of time as we've iterated on these family-friendly practices.
So we've always had a paid time off program as part of their kind of core set of values, but we had kind of restricted it to certain positions until this year, where now all employees, including part-time, full-time, et cetera, are eligible to accrue paid time off. We have a lot of folks who are parents, have young children, especially during COVID, trying to figure out how to come to work, take care of them. When we kind of announced the broader initiative, there was a lot of positive feedback from the team that this is really important for us to be able to kind of maintain some balance and be able to, take care of our families in this crazy time, but also just going forward across the board. I think anytime that a team member takes some time off and they don't have to worry about covering their day-to-day expenses, that to me is kind of the most refreshing thought, I think, from their perspective.
Let's get a little background about the sandwich bar in general. How big is it? How many employees do you have?
We kind of really wanted to focus on establishing sort of a neighborhood feel with a sort of fast casual vibe to it. We're still a pretty young company. We opened the doors in July of 2018. When you look at our customers and our location in particular, we serve a lot of young families. Having family-friendly formats in the restaurant for our customers was a really important aspect. The vibe is what we call is like a collection of the greatest hits of East Coast sandwich culture. In terms of employees, we hover around 24, 25 employees.
We had our first pregnancy at East Cut this past year.
In the actual building?
No. One of our employees. We're only good at sandwiches.
Okay.
But we had our first employee who is pregnant. This is something that in the future we'll try to structure out a bit more. But there was a sense of flexibility that we had with that employee that I think really went a long way to keep her feeling comfortable at work and keep her excited about actually coming back to work at East Cut after birth. And we've maintained that communication. It wasn't a structured or formal program. We actually paid out maternity leave as well, which I don't think you hear of in the restaurant industry too much. It was only a few weeks, but it's something that we thought was the right thing to do. And I think it's part of a broader theme of what we want to accomplish in 2021 is really thinking about how healthcare works into our benefit suite at East Cut. At first, it was really just about talking and being flexible with that person, and then it becomes something a little bit more formal, where it led to some ideas of like, how do we actually be the best employers that we can be and really formalize a program that benefits our staff.
it sounds like you guys already had some core values that were family friendly, but how did you get in touch with Family Forward NC, and what other kind of things did they help you with, make your business even more family friendly?
Really, I think we look at Family Forward as an organization that kind of provides insight into some of the best practices around, things like paid leave or health benefits and other sort of programs, even if they're not hard, tangible benefits, things that we can do to just better support folks who have families in our operation.
Family Forward NC is an innovative initiative of the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation. Family Forward NC can provide your company with resources and support to help you implement practices like paid leave, flexible work and scheduling, health benefits and flexible spending accounts, child care support, and more. For more information, please visit familyforwardnc.com. Business smart, family friendly, future ready.
You are listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. Thank you for downloading and subscribing. Coming to you virtually live from high atop the historic Raleigh building in beautiful downtown Raleigh. The NCF&B takes the listener behind the scenes to tell the stories of the people that contribute to the creation of the food and beverage community of North Carolina. And now, the misfits in the dish pit, the faces of the front. They are Max Trujillo and Matthew Weiss.
Hello, and thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your co-host, Max Trujillo.
And I am your co-host, Matthew Weiss. And today on the show, we have the newly crowned Prince of Barbecue, the pitmaster extraordinaire of Corner Boys Barbecue, and I'm going to bury the lead, or give it to you, the champion of Moonshiner Smoke Ring on Discovery Plus, Mr. James Sampson. Welcome, James.
Welcome, man. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. Finally made this big presentation to NC Podcast, and it's been a great experience so far. I mean, the initiation before we got on film, was cool, so I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, we've been trying to get you on the show, but this guy's busy, man. Every time I'm talking to him, he's like, "Oh, I'm just about to serve some food over here, or I'm about to go do this, I'm about to do that." You're a wanted man.
I am a wanted man. I think it's not really me; it's the food. People want the food, bro. And they'll do anything to get it.
Yeah, well, Playgirl called. I heard that they're calling to get you to do a spread soon too. So
Who's that?
Playgirl.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they wanted a shirtless barbecue session, cook on site type thing.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it like with your newfound celebrity?
That's so funny, man. My wife keeps me grounded, brother. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, that's what they're good for.
For her, I'm not even James. I'm just Jay. But she keeps me grounded, man. My new site celebrity is people just walking up wanting autographs and taking pictures. One lady wanted to sit on my lap, and I was like,
hello.
It's COVID.
Right. Yeah. So for those that don't know about, James Sampson and where have you been, you get your head, buried in the sand. But what we're talking about more specifically is there's a new streaming app called Discovery Plus, which is like the Discovery Channel, but online. You can download it and all, get on your phone or anywhere you get your streaming apps. But they have a show. They originally have a show just called Moonshiners, which got into the whole culture of distilling and liquor and all that. And then they expanded upon that and made a new show called Moonshiners Smoke Ring on Discovery Plus. And that show, I guess here, I'll just read what the show is about because it's kind of the easiest way to get to the end. In an all-new Discovery Plus series, legendary moonshiners Stephen Ray Tickle and Hogfather Tank Jackson will be joined by guest judges who are the legends in the barbecue world, including Sam Jones, Ed and Ryan Mitchell, Chris Lilly, Emily Hahn, Carrie Bringle, a.k.a. Peg Leg Porker, will help them decide the winner of each challenge. So that's the show. So each episode pits one pitmaster against another pitmaster, and it's a specific style of barbecue. Is that fair to say? Is that right?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna say the style, but it's a specific animal.
Oh, that's right.
Portion of meat.
Yes. Your episode. What did they do for you? What did you have to cook?
In my episode, we did the whole hog, so we had to cook a whole hog.
Which, I mean, that's.
But I mean,
kind
if
of,
Sam Jones is one of the judges, what else? I mean, barbecue is whole hog. So
you're exactly right, man. It was definitely a pleasure. Like, and I really say pleasure with the biggest P, to be in such a great presence. When it comes to barbecue, you really have to give those icons the respect that they deserve.
Sure.
Sam Jones was a very informational. He was very nice. Very he was funny, to be honest.
Yeah. He's a character.
He's definitely a character. And to hear him express the way what he thought about my barbecue was somewhat amazing.
I watched the spoiler alert, everybody. You can go and get Discovery Plus on your own and watch the show. There are other contestants on different episodes that you'll know, like our boy Jake Wood is also on the show. It's really fun too. I mean, you can learn a lot about barbecue and cooking in general. So it's a fun show to watch. I know I'm like knee deep in all this barbecue because my wife bought me a Commodore Joe Big Fat Joe smoker for Christmas last year, which has. Yeah, it's life-changing, I've said. It literally is life-changing. I think totally different about cooking and what we eat, and then the time spent, because I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I better get started 4 days before and start like getting the whole process down or so.
People really don't take the time to, and I hate to say this, but you can get so much done with anything. And when you get those products like Komodo Joe, it's almost like taking an unexperienced person and turning them into a professional overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They really do cook really good food.
Max's overinflated ego now is solely due to the Komodo Joe.
Yeah, but basically what James just said is get back to reality, son.
You're not that good.
You don't really know.
The machinery you
the
have.
Komodo Joe did it all. You did nothing. Yeah, I actually thought I had pride by saying that for a second, but now I'm just wilted little flower. Thanks, anyways. I guess I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, James, talk to us about how you do become that. The new prince of barbecue, the pitmaster extraordinaire. How'd you come up?
Man, if we had time to tell you the whole story, I've probably burned up as much meat as I've cooked for people to eat.
Okay.
So that's kind of how you get there.
Yeah, but if you didn't have that, we wouldn't have those brisket burnt ends, which are delicious.
That's true.
Where are you from? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm from here.
Oh, gee.
I'm born and raised, dude.
That's almost hard to find nowadays.
Yeah.
Literally, I was raised maybe. Let's say what road are you guys on at the place?
We're on the kitchen. We're at Fayetteville and Hargett.
Right, Hargett Street is where I was raised.
Really? Oh wow!
So blocks down from where you are, my house was right there. I was raised there.
Oh wow!
And so when Ed Mitchell was on a couple months ago, he was telling us how basically he got started cooking and he really took it to another level when his father died and his mom wanted lunch one day. Was it in your family from cooking barbecue and putting smokers together, or give us a little insight into how you came upon this?
So let me give you the insight. Now, if you didn't know, I've been in transportation for almost 14 years.
Okay.
So I've done transportation from limousines to buses to everything. So when Beyonce was here and they did the concert, all those 250 people that she brought with her,
she brings an entourage
to the airport and to their hotels and whatnot. with buses.
Wait, did you have Beyonce in your car?
No. Let me not lie. No, I wish I did. Now I had backstage passes.
Okay.
She brought her own transportation.
Did you share the same air as Beyonce?
Yeah, I was sharing the same air though.
That's good.
I was definitely sharing the same air.
No, but you were coordinating the transportation for all those people.
Coordinating the transportation. Yep. So I did get a check from it, but and I've driven a lot of stars. I mean, from Guy Fieri to
Raider fan. Yeah.
I mean, everybody. I can't even think now. I drove U2 when they came here.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
This is Matt's band right here.
That was like one of the biggest events of my life. That's where I really knew I loved my job, was when I drove U2.
I have to ask, were they
10
great?
cars deep from the tarmac. We had cops transporting us from there to the venue. It was crazy. And they had like 5-star chefs cooking for them.
Were you driving like Bono? Were you driving the band in that one?
I had Edge in my back seat.
Oh, nice.
That
awesome. Was crazy. Yeah, that was totally cool.
Did you strike up a conversation?
Oh yeah, we talked about barbecue.
Oh really?
Yeah. You know what? I've been like low key like this barbecue dude since then. Like I've been a cook my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah. But every time I have a conversation, it's about food or barbecue or something.
That's what it is, man. That's a great connector. Food, and specifically if you're the Edge from U2 and you land in North Carolina to go do a show, the guy that picks you up starts talking to you about barbecue. You're like, okay, this feels right.
Yeah.
This is what
This is why we travel.
Yeah. And actually, it has to be said, because the way that we even know you, James, was not just because you're a celebrity pitmaster on Discovery Plus. You actually helped me out in a time of need while I was helping out over at Wyatt Hill. We were reopening phase 2 with COVID, and we were trying to get the place activated. And over the first weekend, we still we're trying to work out all the particulars with the kitchen. So the kitchen was not ready to be open, but we had service and we had this beautiful patio and a bar. And I needed somebody that could maybe bring a barbecue or bring a food truck or something to that level. And I put out feelers via all my close trusted friends, and our mutual friend, former guest of the show, former sponsor of the show, one of my favorite people in all of North Carolina, Mr. Kyle Sutton of Bestow Baked Goods.
You gotta love Kyle.
Kyle really is one of the best people out there. He and Heather, they're just good people, and
new parents also.
And new parents, that's right.
They just parents, man. He's a daddy now.
Yeah.
I was on the phone.
Lucky kid, by the way.
Right. I was on the phone with him the other day, and him and his wife were having a conversation about the speed of the rocker that the baby's in. And I was just like, Kyle, I'm hanging up.
Slow it down. Yeah, there's the background. He's going too fast.
There's empirical evidence that if you rock the child at this motion with this type of cadence, they are going to be over a 120 IQ.
Is that Kyle doing all the science?
Kyle's
and
like,
all the while with his penguin laugh. Kyle, that's for you, man. We know you. You know we love you.
Bro.
But so I was like, man, I need somebody, and Kyle's like, oh man, you got to talk to my buddy James Sampson. He runs Corner Boys Barbecue, which is essentially it's a food truck, or it's a little bit more than a truck. When we asked you to when we asked you to join up, it was a massive trailer. I want you to give me the specs on this, but you were massive trailer that was being pulled by a massive, huge truck, and you pulled it up right up there in the back end of the kind of on the bridge side of Wyatt Hill's patio, and boom, there you sat with your team. Let it kind of tell us real quick about the truck, because I want to know what are the specs? What's the trailer all about?
So look, my dad said, "Go big or go home."
Yeah.
So I went big. We got 26 foot of raw, that's just beastie trailer. You know what I'm saying? That's actually the biggest, tallest trailer you can get for cooking, as far as with the patio and stuff. So I have a 6-burner oven inside with a flat top. I have two ovens, so it actually can burn cook eight pans at a time.
Yeah.
If I need to. Plus, I have a commercial grade BQ smoker, and it's all stainless steel.
Yeah, and it's like kind of in a, like you said, like it's like a patio.
On the patio,
outside,
yeah.
like it on the trailer. The back half of it is like a screened-in porch.
When we pull up, we're cooking, we're smoking.
Yeah.
People have followed my truck just to find out where I'm going to be because they're smelling the barbecue coming off the back end of that trailer.
Oh, I bet.
I had a cop pull me over, thought I was on fire. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. That's the nature of it. Yeah.
So, James, how did you get there, though? Like, what are you still working in transportation, or is the truck the full-time gig now?
No, so you know how life treats you. You know, you gotta have your failures to get to your wins.
Yeah.
And so, transportation ended, which was cool. When I did transportation, I was downtown with you guys every day. I did 42 runs out of the Marriott City Center in Raleigh. On a daily basis. So once that ended, I had just bought a house, and I had to learn. I had to learn very quickly, what am I going to do to provide for my family? You know, I was in a rock and a hard place, and I just looked out back and I said, man, I got to start cooking. Because my friends always came over and we did the hosting thing, and people loved the food.
Yeah.
So I said, well, might as well start selling the food. I actually, my pastor at my church, he asked me to do his son's, what's the day before the wedding party thing?
Rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, the rehearsal dinner. So I did that for like 125 people, and the people loved the food so much. Someone booked 3 events.
Wow.
With that event.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I guess the food is really good. So then I had people that I used to go, I'm in the biker world. So I don't own a bike, but I'm in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so
wait, hold on. Like, are you wearing are you talking about road cycling? Like where you're wearing the spandex?
No. Biker, not bicycle. Not the bicycle.
Okay. Like a Harley.
A Harley. A motorcycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the Harley world. So, and we were hanging out at the shop, and they like, man, I'm hungry. I said, why don't you go cook something to eat, James? I'm like, man, anybody feel like cooking? He said, man, if you cook whatever you wanted to, we would buy your food every day. So I said, you know what? I ain't doing nothing else. I'm just hanging out. So I started to go home, and I would get up at like 6 a.m. After, and make plates. So I started making plates. And I said, well, I'm going to start with 20 plates a day and see how that goes. And I would put them in my cooler. It could be ribs, a barbecue, or, whatever I felt like cooking.
Yeah.
And people started buying the food. Like, I would like
what would a plate cost back then?
Oh, you're talking about $10, $12, something simple. Yeah. I'm just trying to, make a couple dollars, get by.
Yeah.
But people started buying the food. At one point, we were doing 40 plates a day and selling out in 2 hours. And this is just riding around from barbershops to salons to, the people I knew that liked the food. And they started requesting stuff. And I was like, man, hold up. This is getting bigger than me real quick.
Yeah.
So I got to figure something out. And I had a gentleman come to my house, and he really saw into me and helped me get where I'm at today. We went and got the trailer, and
this is just a guy that had eaten your food and was inspired, or how did
a financial friend? Is that what you're saying?
This is like my father.
Okay.
Like
your father, like a father figure to you.
Not my father figure,
Yeah.
He just invested in me, and I said, well, I'm not going to let you down. So that's why the first year, we ran so hard. It literally, like, we never went to the same place in a year. It was every day was somewhere different.
when so many people are eating your food, they're like, it's not like it's just good. This is like stuff that I want to pay for and get all the time.
Right.
Then it's like you're compelled. It's almost like your career has just been put in front of you. You got no choice. You got to do it.
Right. You have to do it. And that was the thing, man. I had to do it. I had let my secret out the bag that I knew how to cook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, now you got to execute. So,
by the way, where was that? What's the secret there? How'd you learn? We never got to that. How'd you learn how to cook?
Man, let me tell you, this is literally a gift from God. Like, I know I'm a big guy. Yeah, I'm the sexiest man in barbecue. That's what they tell me.
Big sexy.
All right. But when I was 8 years old, we had this school project to bring in food that you prepared and everybody was going to taste it. And, I didn't come up from a 2-parent home and we had everything we needed. No, it was me, my mom, my sister. And sometimes it was hard to get food for us to eat. So nevertheless, take some food out of my house to go give to somebody else.
Yeah,
that wasn't a question.
Tall order, yeah.
So I had to get like the cheapest thing we had. It was some ham. It was like the ham steaks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I chopped it up and I did like a balsamic vinaigrette and I put it in a frying pan and cooked it. And I brought it in and people were like, "You ain't cooked this." I said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Man, you ain't cooked this. This is too good." My teacher was even looking like, "Man, you didn't cook this. I told you to cook it, not have your mom cook it."
Yeah.
They didn't believe it, but I had cooked it. And
how old were you?
I was 8.
Man.
I almost burnt my house down cooking. Seriously. I came home from school and my mom always told me don't cook till I get home. But I wanted some fried pork chops. So, I got my cast iron pan out, put my grease in there, and it takes a while to heat up because it's cast iron.
Yeah.
So I went and sat on the couch. I had already battered up my pork chops and everything. And I sat on the couch and I fell asleep.
Ooh.
When I woke up, the fire was like 6 feet tall because the grease had caught on fire.
Oh.
The house was like black. I opened the front door, went and grabbed the pan with the towel, set it on the porch, came back and put the fire out. And when I turned back, looked at my house, I was like, "Oh my God, my mom is going to kill me," because the whole house was full of soot.
Yeah,
it was just full of soot. So the firemen, they said, "Well, I got to call your mom." I said, "No, you don't. No, you're good. I'm okay.
She doesn't need to know.
Okay. We're gonna get this cleaned up. You guys are good." He's like, "No, I got to call your mom." So my mom has never been the one to be like, "Are you okay? Is everything gonna work out?" No, she comes a whole nother direction. Didn't I tell you? You know what that meant.
Oh, yeah.
Beat down when she got home. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to get it this time." But that's how I got started, man. I've been cooking since I was little.
Yeah, talking about, like you said, needing to make your mistakes before you learn. But how'd you? I'm wondering, like, how'd you even know how to batter that pork chop? How'd you know how to cook that ham with a balsamic? How'd you know what a balsamic vinaigrette was at 8 years old?
For me and a fat kid, brother, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like,
now we're getting to it.
When I was little, I was a skinny little thing, right?
Yeah.
But my babysitter, Miss Grace, she was always in the kitchen cooking.
Mm.
And as a kid, that's all I remember is her cooking. And it was always soul food stuff.
Yeah.
Either fried fish or chicken or, the gravies and all rustic soul food stuff. And it stayed with me. It stayed with me. Like, she must have embedded something in me even when I was a child, like before school time. And it just stayed with me. I always loved food. I just loved food.
So you did kind of have like you had like a mentor. Miss Grace was kind of like maybe unknowingly,
right?
She got you inspired to at least.
Inspired, man. I'm telling you,
she unlocked your gift.
He unlocked the gift.
Yeah.
I was like Mortal Kombat. I had to earn my powers.
Well, speaking about gifts, I want to tell you, for people that need stuff to drink with barbecue, because it's important to drink some good stuff with barbecue. I don't know what you like to drink, but I know that we try to pair wines with it, and some wines really work. I like the bubbles, but I think mostly really beer is the way to go. And
you come around, all right. I like that.
I mean, it really does. And to get the most vast, great selection of beer, I recommend going to the Triangle Wine Company, ironically enough, because they have an unbelievable selection of craft beer, local beer, your big breweries as well. They have great service. They have delivery available. They have curbside delivery, and plus they are in 5 locations now, all the way out in Southern Pines. They're in my neck of the woods in Holly Springs. They're in Cary. They're in Morrisville, and they just opened a new shop out in on the border of Wake Forest in the Bedford community in North Raleigh. So I don't know, James, maybe you should talk to them and park your truck out there one day. And we should do an event with the Triangle Wine Company with some great barbecue and some great beer.
I want champagne and ribs.
Champagne
and ribs just sound like that should just be a dinner party that we host. Champagne and ribs. We did pork and rum before.
We did.
Champagne and ribs sounds like.
But champagne and ribs or champagne and fried chicken? Because that's like that's like the go-to.
Do they have to be mutually exclusive?
No.
Can we do champagne ribs and chicken?
We can definitely do both.
Yeah, maybe some brisket too.
Yeah. But either way, go to Triangle Wine Company or trianglewineco.com, and don't forget to use the NCFB promo code for a nice discount.
Yeah. So, okay, let's reset just a sec, because I want to get back to the show that you were on Moonshiner Smoke Ring. Which it's a really funny, kind of entertaining show, because you got these two guys that are hosting. One is a former or maybe still active moonshiner in Stephen Ray Tickle, and then you've got Tank Jackson, who, it's funny, I knew he was filming your episode only because mutual friends of mine FaceTimed me while they were sitting at Y Hill. I wasn't working that day. They thought I was going to be there, but they came in with Tank Jackson and they FaceTimed me like, Max, we thought you were going to be here, but we brought Tank in because we wanted him to meet you. And so I ended up FaceTiming with this guy for like 10 minutes. They're drinking. I was having a beer at home and we're just having a good time chatting. He himself is a character.
Right.
And quite an accomplished pitmaster in his own right. And so these two guys, they are the hosts, and they put it down, but they had Sam Jones as their guest judge, and you were doing whole hog. There's a couple of big technique differences when you're doing the whole hog, and the aforementioned Sam Jones. The first time I ever saw Sam do what he does was at Lambstock, probably like 7 years ago or 6 years ago, and he was sitting there with his 2 cleavers chopping all the hog together and doing whatever. You don't do that. No. You're not a chopper. You're a puller.
Yeah, I'm a puller, man. You know,
you pull it.
And be honest with you, I just became a puller.
Oh, you're a recent puller.
Yeah, I'm a recent puller. I was a chopper because that was like the thing to do. You chop your barbecue, but I have fallen in love with cooking the meat to a temperature where you can pull it, and it's just delicious. It is like, the tooth is just a whole lot better than, minced meat. I just don't do the minced meat anymore.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about both techniques, but there's something to be said where, like, maybe it seems like a little less aggressive. Like, you're like, no, just let the meat kind of go where the meat wants to go. Just let it fall apart, do whatever. You did something, though, that I never realized, and it seems wildly complex. So I don't know if you do it all the time or you were just doing it for the show, but they had mentioned that you not only cooked the whole hog, but when you served the plate at the end, you were taking particular pieces of the hog separately and kind of putting them together. So you got a little bit of this part, a little bit of this part, a little bit of this part to make the perfect bite. Was that just for the show, or is that what you do?
That was for the show. It was for the competition. Because I wanted I cooked that hog to understand that I needed to serve the whole thing. even though I got this animal here that I can just pull the parts that I like that people love, I want them to get the whole animal. So that's why I took the head off and I cooked it separately so they could get the cheek of the hog. Then when I went in, I found the money muscle. Then when you get that strangler, that portion, that's just that bacon, man. When that bacon comes in there, that'll change your life.
Yeah.
That'll change your life. But the whole process of me cooking that hog was really I watched Rodney Scott cook multiple hogs over and over and over again, because hog is not something that I'm very familiar with. This was pretty new to me, just to be honest, and I had to just watch him and do his techniques over and over again. And I said, but I've got to make it my own. So if you watch the show, you'll see the portion where we're in the kitchen, like right where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm making this mop to go on the hog.
Yeah, it's all about the mop from what I could gather from the show.
No, I'm not even gonna, throw you around. That was literally made up off of I was just doing it for TV.
That was movie magic?
That was movie magic, right?
Oh, okay.
But I just kept putting different things in it. And I'm going to tell you, it was when you see me lean back like this, and I said, oh my God, I literally dropped a tear from my eye. You got to watch and look for this. A tear dropped from my eye because I said, I can't believe I just did this. And when Jamal tasted it, and that was our true response, because we had never done that before.
So the show made you figure out a new technique of how you cook your barbecue.
It made me figure out a new sauce.
A new sauce, the mop.
And I'm telling you, that's really what won that competition.
And for those who don't know, like mop, that's not like a play on words. You're physically grabbing like a big mop and you're dipping it into the sauce to then slather all over the whole hog.
The whole hog, and getting to the cavities and getting to the meat. And really, really, when Tank said that flavor just punched you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have never in my life, and I've watched barbecue competitions religiously, seen a judge eat the whole plate.
That's right there.
That's validation.
Yeah.
All three of them.
Wow.
Ate the entire plate. They said, Sam Jones said, we got to stop because we still got to go try Matt's food.
Yeah. And no slouch on him. He was making delicious food too. He made that crispy pork skin chip, which looked divine.
And that's where he failed, because that's all he worried about was the skin of that hog.
Yeah.
And he forgot about the meat and putting the flavor in there. And I'm telling you, Sam Jones said to me in my face, that's some good. Can we cuss up here?
Go get into it.
Okay, go get it. That's some good fucking barbecue. He took 2 steps, turned around, and said, that's some good fucking barbecue. Then he went to go try Matt's food. I'm just telling you the truth.
Sidebar, back when we did the episode in Euphoria, going back a couple of years, it was basically a whole barbecue episode, but we were having cocktails at night. We had Matt Register and Sam Jones and Anthony DiBernardo and quite a few different people out there. At the end of the night, we're sitting back having whiskeys at the hotel bar. Matt, were you even there at that moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. Okay. And Sam Jones went on to tell the most hilarious joke that I can't even I've tried to retell the joke, but his delivery is why the joke is funny. I don't even know if the joke is necessarily a funny joke, but when he said it, I almost peed my pants. It was so great. And it never could be relived again. So Sam, just in his own take,
You mean the one about the suit?
The suit.
Maybe we can get Sam on to tell the joke himself.
Oh no, because remember he didn't want to tell that joke. Like he didn't publicly want that joke to be told because there were bad words involved, and he didn't want Mama to hear him speak.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
so now, by the way, Sam didn't say the F word to you because Sam doesn't cuss.
Say that. I'm sorry.
No, you just like to embellish.
That was a lie.
That's really cool. I love that insight into the show because, people talk about cooking competitions and they say, well, it's not really anything like real life. It's not like it. But it sounds like for you, it was pretty darn real. And it really helped you actually even better the already great job you're doing.
Man, it truly did. It just, in life, we all look for the gratification, like we give our kids. Mm-hmm. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And this show has brought that to me to say I'm doing a great job. It's the clap on the back that you need sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you get picked for that show? Like who discovers you?
Man, let me tell you.
Who Discovery
These
Plus?
jokers were in my DMs in Instagram. And I didn't believe it. I was like, man, nobody gonna put me on a TV show. So I was ignoring it. Kyle called me and said, brother, did you talk to Ron? I said, no. He said, well, you need to call Ron because he's trying to get up with you about this Discovery channel. I said, for real?
Well, it's hard to believe anything on social media now because it's like literally, I just had to put a post out on Facebook yesterday because like 5 of my friends got a text. Did you get a text from me?
I did not.
Oh, maybe you're not as close to me as we thought. But 5 of my real friends.
Well, that's just because I block your text.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. No wonder why I never get a response. But apparently, I'm like guest of the show for whatever. Bobby McFarland, he's a good friend of mine, and he like got off the plane to a text series with me, what he thought was me, but it was a totally different number, but claiming to be Max Trujillo, and it was like ultimately leading him down the path of like gift cards, and he needed to I needed him to verify some gift cards, and like, yeah, man, just click this link. And I'm like, the best part is every text message that he was sending the guy, the fraud person, would sign it Max Trujillo. Like that's the way I text things. I'm just gonna do that now. Like, hey Matt, you come on over, Max Trujillo.
Right?
But yeah, it's just like, how can you believe anything today in this world? It's like someone's like, hey, I genuinely want you to do this thing. You're like, that sounds like fraud. Screw you. That couldn't be good. That's too good to be true. But I'm glad that Kyle came back and he's like he shepherded you through this whole thing.
James, what are you doing?
Know how I met Kyle?
How's that?
All right, so if you know Andrew Ullum.
Oh yeah,
who owns
former guest of the show. He's about to Andrew Ullum. Yeah, he's about to open up a new place right down here at the end of Fayetteville Street.
Right,
the Union Special. Yeah.
Well, he was making my buns for my brisket sandwich.
Wow.
Brioche buns that are all buttery and delicious.
As he does.
Andrew had put a post on his Instagram about me and that I'm using this buns for my brisket sandwich. Well, Kyle comes over to the truck one day and we're out to try the brisket sandwich. Now, at this time we're making the brisket, we're putting fried onions and fried pickles on it. This nice buttery brisket on this bun. Kyle eats the sandwich in the car, I guess. He comes back maybe 10 minutes later and says, I need 9 of those. And you know how Kyle is. He's like, I'm getting ready to feed my staff because they've got to taste this. They've got to taste it. So he brought the buns and the sandwiches over to his staff. And I said, anybody who's going to come and spend that type of money with me and we just met, we need to be friends.
Or coworkers. Like the fact that he was like, I'm going to just probably drop $120 or whatever it is for 10 sandwiches. 160. Oh yeah. Tax tip. Yeah. You got to take care of everybody. That's a lot of coin. I wonder if he was, because Kyle's in like the tech business. So like, how great for all these like nerds in his office that don't know what food is. They're like, thank God we are friends with Kyle Sutton.
Because else we would be eating our kale chips and yogurt for lunch.
Yeah. Throw that granola off to the side.
I'm telling you, it's been funny how you meet the people you're looking at, and even with you guys, that's how we made a connection through Kyle.
Yeah. Through Kyle, but also, let's be honest. I mean, yes, Kyle, but then you delivered, like you and your team. And I'd like to even know too, because Jamal, he was on the show with you. He was kind of like your sous chef or assistant pitmaster or whatever. You have a strong team, and those guys were like humming, running around. You're pulling the truck in, but these guys were doing so much legwork, getting things done. Who is your team? How are you built up?
Doc, at that time, we had a team of 3, and it was Jamal, Darius, and myself. Right now, Darius has moved on, but right now it's me and Jamal, and Jamal hums around that truck like a bumblebee, and he's everywhere. I mean, I honestly, when we came to Y Hill, I think people were waiting 30 seconds for their food.
Oh yeah, you were pumping it out.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it comes out fire and hot and tasty. I really just enjoyed that day, because seeing that picture, man, it was like, wow, we're getting here. We're doing something.
So what's going on now? Like, for one, the question begs to be asked is, you did this whole hog barbecue, and then you had this like crazy epiphany with the mop, and you did all this new stuff for the show. Did that change how you're going to go forward doing? I assume that you just buy cuts because you're on a food truck and you can't throw the entire huge hog on the food truck wherever you're going, so you're buying cuts. But has this changed your perspective?
It really did, honestly. I want to open a brick and mortar, and I want people to pull up and get an experience that they've never gotten anywhere, and just smell barbecue from miles away, and come in and get stuff that they can't get anywhere. I mean, I want to give people the experience of the best outside barbecue restaurant in the world. Be honest with you.
Well, maybe this is a good time for me to be a little self-serving and talk about my thing. So I'm getting back in the game. But this time, I'll be the owner of my own business, my own company with my business partner, Kip. And we're opening up Crafton, which is basically a boutique food hall. The first one's opening up in Nightdale. We already have the second location planned out in Clayton. And it's basically a food hall, but with service. It's going to be like a restaurant dining experience, because we'll have servers and bartenders, and we'll take care of you from top to bottom, all on one check. So no more standing in lines at a food hall where you got to like buy here, do everything separately. We do it all on one check. We do everything. We take care of you. We clean up after you. We get you a second round, do whatever, keep a tab running. And you get it all done that way. I just figured, the things that I know most about this restaurant industry is the hospitality side, the service side, and it seems like that's what I should be doing. And so I love multiple food concepts. I love working with chefs. I love doing all that. So the idea is that we have multiple kitchens, and we can bring anybody in to kind of cook their food, and we will sell it, and we will tell the story of it.
I just did Bob Barker the other day. I got Walmart on Friday. I got DPR on Tuesday, and these are all 250 people plus. So wow. It's getting crazy.
And so how do people find you? Just go to cornerboysbbq.com, or is there a better way?
That's the best. Go to the website. If you don't see me there, check out the Instagram, Facebook. We got I'm working on my YouTube, and I got to get better with Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not really active. And then, I've been playing around with this TikTok thing, and everybody's on TikTok.
Yeah, why not? That's super cool. So just check them out. I see you're always putting different posts up on Instagram at cornerboysbbq. That seems like the easiest way to get in touch with everyone.
Just if you're DMing him, maybe you got to give a code word to, let them know you're not these people are not soliciting business or spamming you.
Just put your full name at the very end, and then they'll know.
Or just say Max Drew.
Or just use my name. It seems like everybody else does. Well, hey, James, before you get out of here, we're going to have, since I know you're a local guy, you're not in the studio today, but you're nearby. So we're going to have to set up a way where I can see you soon and hand you a pint of Proof Alcohol ice cream, because Proof Alcohol Ice Cream is one of our lovely sponsors here on the podcast, and they put a little bit of alcohol and a lot of ice cream in one container, 7% alcohol in every pint container that they have, coming from Columbia, South Carolina. They're available now in, I want to say, over 7 states. You can get them at the aforementioned Triangle Wine Company. You can get them at Lowe's, at Harris Teeter, at Total Wine. Really, they're all over the place in these perfectly little red branded freezers that are located more in the beer and wine locations of your grocery stores, and here at the kitchen in our lobby. So you can get flavors like coconut rum, bourbon caramel, strawberry moonshine. So I'll have to pick one up, select some maybe for you and Jamal, and give you some ice cream. It's a nice thing to have while you're smoking the meats, late night.
Cools you down.
I'm sure Jamal would love that.
Yeah.
He's not really the most talkative type, so he wouldn't be able to talk. But yeah, he loves the anything alcohol hinted. We're with that.
He's a connoisseur of alcohol. Yes. Yeah. Does that, as far as like your work life, it's funny with a few friends of ours that we have on, let's say Facebook, who are all pit masters. I hear the grind of the lifestyle of being a pit master, and a lot of it is like I didn't realize I was going to have to start working at midnight through the night every day, and let it go.
It is definitely a grind. It is a grind, and you love it or you don't, so you keep rocking. I love it.
That's great, man. Well, we'll be looking for you somewhere. I mean, until then, you've got the truck, the massive truck, 26 feet, trailer hooked up to that huge. Was it a Ford F-150? What are you riding?
The Nolly 3500, baby.
That's right.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Top shelf, baby. You already know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep looking for there. Matt, what do you think? Where do we go?
Well, James, thank you for sharing your story. And for everybody who wants to see it, go download Discovery Plus. Not that they're a sponsor of the show, but could be. And we'll have to get you your pint of Proof Alcohol ice cream. And I know that I will be out there looking for you and come by the truck and say hi wherever you might be around the triangle, because I'm always looking for some good barbecue. So for all of you out there, look up Corner Boys Barbecue, go find them, and you will eat extremely merrily.
That's right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the NCF&B podcast. And if you've stuck with us this long, review us on iTunes, and remember, 5 stars are encouraged.